we're going to make history tonight. I mean, that's all there is to it. Not only are we going to make big boom boom, because Barb Horsman is the baby boomer who's making a big boom boom. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Landman, but the first baby boomer that's like slam dunking it, she's a hair ninja. She's a social media master. I mean, she's just like smoking it. She's from Shoppe, Hair and Aesthetics, Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, and she is a good friend. She's been hanging out in FB Live probably the last 80 episodes or so, and I've been waiting for a long time to bring her on. Let me tell you a few things about her before she comes on, because I want her to come on and tell you her story. It's just extraordinary. Yeah, a 50-something. So usually on the program we got 20-something. Sometime every now and then we got a 30-something. But she's up there with me, and she is a sage, and she's growing young. I think she puts a lot of 20-somethings and 30-somethings in the dust with regard to what she's doing on social media. First baby boomer on FB Live. Level 8 in Shoppe, Canada, I mean, they blow it off the charts, you know, so they like just went through 4A, 4AA at, you know, Mach 10 a few years ago. She's hanging out at the highest, graduated high school 81, started cosmetology 83, has worked for Shoppe the last 20 years, so her story is amazing. She's hitting the numbers all. I think she says she's projected to do 90 grand this year. I think I bet her that she's going to probably crack 100 with gratuities. 27 guests a week. I think, yeah, working 4 days. Come on, man. I mean, that's like big boom boom on steroids. Read books 100%. Are you freaking kidding me? And running well over 100 referrals a year. She's like Shoppe's, you know, referral rainmaker on steroids. So she's just got and when you really kind of hang out with her on social media, she's hitting on and on all cylinders, as well as on Facebook, Instagram. You know, she's hanging out with an iPhone 6 and an iPad. 15 guests a week get photographed, and she's really choosy about who she's photographing. This is all high ticket. Probably takes, I don't know, 4 pics per guest. You do the math on that. Her photography is about 60 pictures a week. She posts about 3 times a week, which is really, when you really, you know, look at what all the social media masters are doing, that's right up there. Most pics, but some take their own selfies, post on their pages, they tag her, you know, and the rest is history. I think that's why she's, leading the charge with that whole deal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get off the iPad, because she's in the green room, and I'm going to bring her up, and so that we can all really have the benefit of her company. There she is now. Give it up for Miss Barb. Did you unmute?
I unmute.
All right, she's there. We've got her on Zoom.com tonight. Barb, you're already blowing up the page. You probably have every hairdresser in Canada is tuned in tonight, along with the States, so it's just a pleasure to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, get us started. I know your story is extraordinary, and you and I have had probably 2 or 3 conversations on the phone. How did you get from high school to make the decision to go to hair school? Because I know there was a little turn in there somewhere.
Well, I was supposed to actually move out west to Calgary, Alberta, and I met a guy, and I decided to stay home. So I've always been in Moncton, New Brunswick. I've never left. And so the first year I did aesthetics, and I really enjoyed it. But the school was in Moncton for the whole eastern part of Canada, so the market was saturated. And in the very following year, the school started a cosmetology class, and I joined up. There was only 5 students in the class, and I needed extra help. Let's put it that way.
And so you get started. And how was the first few years when you got out for you?
I was scared to death, absolutely scared to death. I really think that back then, you know, it took at least 7 years to get where The young ones are getting in a year, maybe in 6 months now. And, I mean, we permed everything, but we didn't color it. I was terrified of color.
Yeah.
And I'm not now.
Well, somewhere in around 1990, you had what you and I have come to call your first definable moment. And I want you to what was that definable moment? Because it was huge. It was like it was like a 5-year run for you.
Yeah, it was. It was, people that I loved so dearly had so much belief in me. And I was hired on by Wendy Bennett with Redken Canada. And I had an amazing 5-year that I will never forget any of those days.
Well, I think that's when you and I met each other in or around that time, and then somewhere a few more years passed, and you had your second definable moment. What was that?
Yes, that was when I decided, after all this newfound education, I wanted back at them. I wanted to get behind the chair, so I got back into the salon and. Changed to a couple of years after to the head shop, because that to me was the salon to be in Moncton. That was the Redken salon, and that's where I needed to be, and that's where I have stayed.
Yeah, and then fast forward a few years later brings us up to like 2013, and the third real big definable moment happened somewhere in there. Head shop, Peter came in, Summit, and something extraordinary was brought to you, and that was like what poured nitroglycerin on the bonfire, what we call the third definable moment. What was that?
Well, we were having PDMs in the salon, but I wasn't having any. And I don't know if they were too nervous to have one with me, but they started having PDMs with me. Gail and Laura did, and it turned me around. And I got so fired up with numbers. And then when you came up with the tracking app a year or so ago, I went nuts, because I'll be honest, I was not a good tracker. And you do not know what you can do if you don't even have an idea of what you are doing. And even when I left tonight, the salon, I did my numbers and I put into my tracking app.
Yeah, so I mean that was big, and for people in the Summit community, I think we take the language for granted. But PDM is a personal development meeting, but they're really the one-on-ones, and in the one-on-ones you begin working with a coach, and then there's the Summit tracking app, the planner, and that was like as I listened to your story, those were the last few numbers that you kind of dialed into the lock, and all of a sudden there's just a atomic explosion. And then I kind of meet up with you around 2016-ish. We've been hanging out on Facebook Live for the last year and a half or so, and you were with me too on episode 2, 3, 4. I mean, you've been just a loyal follower, but to watch you grow has been nothing short of extraordinary.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Well, now that you're here, what I'm real curious about is like, what's your life like now, and how is it different before? Because you're still not, it's almost like you're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, this has really made me feel so much younger. It really has. And I am not looking for retirement anytime soon. For some of my guests that might be watching tonight, hanging out, because I'm loving it. And I see, it's almost like the hurricane having a category 5 and going to a 6. I'm ready to go into an 8 anytime. I'm just a little nervous, I'll be honest. But I'll get there. I've qualified to be able to do it, and maybe there'll be a level 9, maybe there'll be a level 10. The sky's the limit, it really is.
Yeah, and what's really cool about having you on is, you're in my genre. We're boomers, right? And yes. you're like a sophomore boomer. I'm a junior boomer, and they're senior boomers. But we're a couple of genres ahead, and yet when I get to know you and watch you, you're growing young, so you can hold your own, whether we're talking about social media, whether we're talking about edgy, hair color and design. You're really in the game with the numbers, the tracking, the level jumping, the tracking app, the planners. I mean, you're firing on all cylinders, and yet you've been in the business for 3 decades, entering your 4th. So it's one of those, if you can do that, you're a vision, I think, of what's possible for some of our other fellows that have been in it as long as we have, but they're not sure. They're kind of burned out. And that's what's so inspiring about having you on the program.
Yeah, well, it's education, and being Redken Hair Color certified has changed my color game too. So education, I will be going to the last class. I'll be the one pushing the walker, like Chris Barron used to do on stage, go with the walker. And, we've got a gal in the Maritimes that has been doing hair. She's in her 90s, and for 70 years she's been doing hair, and I've been doing hair 35. So I told her I'm only halfway there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, and now that you're there, it's like, what's the future hold for you? Because as I get to know you and I watch you, as I said before, you're getting warmed up. So the next, 3, 4, 5 years, as you kind of look out, you stand in the back of the boat and go, yeah, this is where I've been. Yeah, this is where I'm at. But what's your vision? Where are you going from here? What's the next blip on your radar screen?
Well, I just kind of like to mentor the younger ones that come into the salon and encourage them and, help them build confidence in themselves. And, I mean, we've got some young girls in the salon that blow my mind with their technical skills, and they are on that Instagram every day. Their work is phenomenal. Follow the Moncton Head Shop, and you can see some hot work. I mean,
when you've been in it, and as long as we've been in it, and you see the new genre coming, the 20-somethings, and to watch them get to places that, frankly, took us 1 or more decades, and now you're almost like an Obi-Wan Kenobi, a sage to say, look, yes, you're going to get there sooner rather than later, but here's what you want to be mindful of so that your ride is a real great ride. You don't want to be getting on the back end of your ride and, the only thing you have to show for it is, you have sore feet and your back hurts. And I think people like you are going to be guiding the 20-somethings, the millennial genre, and now the centennial genre to really have the ride that you had.
Yeah, well, I feel that, every guest is so important, and it's got to be all about them, all about the guest.
And so...
love them, cherish them, today, tomorrow's not promised, and get back in your chair, and let them know when they need to come back.
Right.
And that has been huge for me.
Yeah. And you and I, through kind of having the conversation, you've kind of like distilled it into like, kind of a 3 or 4 step process as Barb's best practice. In a nutshell, can you just walk us through, because some of it's attitudinal, some of it's in here and in your heart, and some of it's some action. So in a nutshell, what are your 4 steps?
Well, make it all about the guest. It's got to be all about the guest. It really does. And if you show that compassion and empathy towards every guest and be genuine with it and be with them in that appointment and be focused on them, it shines through perfectly.
Yeah.
The second?
Yeah, what I saw as that we were going through it is just that you not only love what you do, but you love who you're serving, and that love comes and it's genuine, and that's how you get started. And what keeps you going is that second step, which is education is your middle name. I mean, you're an obsessive compulsive learner. Like you cannot not learn, right? And your third step is, and you mentioned it a few minutes ago, that your third step was planning your work and then working your plan. When we get off, I'm going to show them what you texted me. You're already starting to book your guests for December. And we're on the front end of September. And then fourth, you just continue to pay it forward to pass it on.
Yeah, absolutely. That third step, booking them ahead. My December is almost booked up already, and I've got clients now saying, "Can I book March?" And but just remember, you've got a standing appointment button on your computer, and you can save that Wednesday night at 6:00 for Ellen every 4 weeks, and you get into the rhythm of that, and it really works well.
Right. Well, this has been truly historical to have you on the program tonight, Barb. And here's the good news. I'm going to be coming up to your way at the head shop celebrating their 50th anniversary, and you're out doing Redken education that week. So we're seeing each other now. I'm going to see your peers, and you're going to be out in the world. We'll probably cross paths in the air or something. But it was an honor to have you on the program, and I really do mean this, Barb, that you really, truly, truly are a vision for people that have been in business 20 years or more to say, look, you can really continue to grow young if you stay on your game.
Michael, thank you so much, and I have you to thank for so much. I've taken your words, and you travel with me every day on my shoulder, and there's so many others that do the same, and I truly hope that there'll be many more.
All right, my friend. I'm going to let you go, and we'll talk to you soon. But thanks again for coming, hanging out with us. Give it up one more time, will you? For Miss Barb Horsman. Take care, my friend. First of all, her 4 steps: loving what you do, and by loving those you serve. I mean, that to me, that's a principle. That's the principle of love. Anytime we put love into the law, we just get the abundance. So that's her philosophy. She doesn't stop learning. Ongoing education. She really does plan her work and works her plan. She's got the Summit Planner. She's got the Summit Tracking app. So she hits it on all cylinders, and then she pays it forward. And here's just an example. She texted this to me a couple of days ago. Just 16 Fridays left until Christmas. She's already booked up with a waiting list. So she's on her game, and I guess the message that we wanted you to get tonight, my friends, is that you can be in it in your 3rd or 4th decade, and if you stay fresh, if you stay on your game, you'll grow young. It's that old saying that if you can't get out of your job, get into your career, and you don't need to leave your field to do that. I think that's more of a change of here, and then the longest journey in the world, where I go 4 inches down, 12 inches down, and 4 inches over to my heart. So she does come from the heart, the passion, the purpose. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to have her on. Give it up for one more time. And look, if she's on tonight, she says, "Thanks, Michael, for your support." So if you're looking at the newsfeed, you can see that she's on her game. So if you hang out on our social platforms, Michael Cole OTT, that's the Facebook page you're on now. We're not only blogging every day, video blogging every day with Facebook Live, slogans, so it's everything that you would need there, as well as on Instagram, Michael Cole BGTD, as in boom. Like I said, this is episode 81. If you went to summitsalon.com and hit /MC Live, you would literally see all of our episodes from the 80th episode and soon to be 81 episode all the way down to episode number 1. So they're already organized for you, but you need to go to summitsalon.com/MC Live. It's just a secret way to get to YouTube, so you're not going on archaeological digs. While you're there, might I suggest, Barb tonight was talking about the Summit Tracking app. Listen, it's free, and it's in the cloud, so it saves your information. It's perfectly paired to the level chart, so all the information you need to know when you're qualified for level jump, it's on the tracking app. As a matter of fact, a few episodes ago, we continue to do training on it, as well as the planner. The guest planner now has really become looking at not only today, but tomorrow, a week out, a month now out with social media. What are all of my windows of time that I want to fill? I'm either going to fill them by upselling a service to a guest that's on the front end of that window, or through social media, I'm going to fill them with either referrals or recaptured repeats. Again, if you've been hanging out on Facebook Live, this is our new language. If you're new to Facebook Live, watch some of these videos so that you kind of catch up with us. What else? Like I said, yes, the tracking app. And then, last but not least, as we thank Summit Salon Business Center, if you're new to Summit, reach out to your Summit Salon-centric sales consultant or your state distributor consultant, sales consultant, or your Redken distributor, RDA, DSC distributor sales consultant, or whoever's in your community, and go, look, what is the Summit? I want to know if this is what Summit is about. Give me more information. I'm a salon owner. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It looks like there's that this is an idea that very much could be the next right answer, the next chapter, the next era, the next part of my journey. So, summitsalon.com. We'll get people out to complimentary scorecards, talk to you, show you where you're at, show you where you've been, and the implications, if you allow us, to help you to take your business up a couple of notches, how much big boom that you make for yourself. So thank you to SSBC, thank you to L'Oreal Professional Product Division. These are all of their brands, right? From Redken to Matrix to L'Oreal Professional, Purology, Mazzani, Kerastase, SE, Shoe. It goes on and on. Their commitment to us allows us to continue to bring this to you. So thank you very much. It's been a great show. So I'm going to kind of pause, say good night to you, and see you on the next round.